Hi all, welcome to the Cloud Workshop Day 3. Today we are going to introduce workflows and approvals in Salesforce. Let me introduce myself. My name is Manish AM. I'm a Salesforce developer at SVRT Technologies. Today we are going to discuss how we can automate our organizational processes without code, or how we can implement our business logic without writing code. So Salesforce is giving a wonderful opportunity for that. That means they're providing facility like workflows and approvals. First of all, we can go to workflows. Okay, basically what is a workflow? A workflow is a standardized way of implementing business logic. Consider a scenario. Suppose you are the sales manager of your organization, and all the day you want to know how many new leads are created for knowing the progress of your marketing team. So there may be a lot of leads, maybe thousands of leads were listed in your app. Then it's very difficult to get what are the new leads, and all the day you want to go and check the entire list. So more than this, if there's a facility that any new lead that created will automatically send to your mail, that will be very suitable for you. Actually, workflow is providing these kind of facilities. So now we can go to the working of workflow, then what all things come under workflow, etc. So the basic things coming under workflow are workflow rule and workflow action. A workflow rule means some conditions that should be met for firing the workflow, and workflow action means what we want to perform. In the workflow rule, there is two things are coming: the record evaluation and the entry criteria. Consider our recruitment app. In the recruitment app, if we want an email alert for every newly opened positions, in this situation the record evaluation means when a new position is we are changing to open, then we want to send an email alert. The instant when the new position is created is called as the workflow record evaluation. So this record evaluation can be done in different ways. Then mainly at the time of creation of an object, or at the time of editing of an object. Then the entry criteria. The entry criteria means at which all conditions to be satisfied for performing the workflow action. Here in our example, if the status of a new position is changing to open, then the email alert should be sent. So that condition is called entry criteria. For every workflow we can create entry criteria. Then workflow action, different kind of actions we can perform using a standardized workflow, that we can discuss in the next slide. So basically, if we are drawing the diagrammatic representation, then workflow will be like this. Here the record evaluation process is starting, and after that we are coming to the criteria. If the criteria is satisfied, then we are going to workflow action, and if not satisfied, then the system will wait until the next evaluation criteria is coming. Okay, so workflow actions, which all things we can perform using a workflow. As I said before, we can send email, so we can create a new standardized email template, and we can reuse that template, and using that template we can send mails to different people, maybe it's more than one people. Then assigning task, say your organization needs your subordinate to perform some actions, then you can alert them in their home tabs. That is assigning task. Then updating fields, if you want to change some fields of any of your object, you can perform that using workflow. Then next one is web service messages or outbound messages. This means Salesforce, they are providing a lot of facilities for integration with other systems. Basically, if you want to integrate one of your application with your Salesforce application, then the communication between these two applications are done by web service messages, that we are technical term we are using outbound messages. Then next one is time dependent actions. Usually the sending email or assigning tasks, updating fields are commonly performed immediate after the entry criteria is satisfied. Then if you want to perform some actions after one day, suppose if a new object is created, then you want to send some mails to some person after one day, then you can done using the same workflow. Actually, there is a beauty of workflow itself, because we can schedule our tasks, and this is very flexible. If you want to do some process after 1 hour, you can do it. After 2 hours, you can do it. After 1 day, after 1 month, you can set all those things. So that is a very beauty of workflows. So this is all about workflows. That's how workflows are really a standardized way for implementing the business logic. It is an automated way, and no code is used, and also it's very flexible. And some more things we want to say, like some task we cannot perform using workflow. For example, creating a new object. Creating a new object is not possible using the workflow. Okay, anyway, we can now see how we can implement the workflow and what all process coming under creating a workflow. So I can go to my app. Okay, good. I have already signed into my developer's account, and my name is displayed here, and I am now standing at the recruitment app. So you can see the recruiting. My app name is recruiting, and several apps are there. And first we want to suppose we want to send an email for every open positions. Okay, if any of the positions are opened in our organization, then that should be reached to the recruiters. So I want to send an email alert for every open position to the recruiter. Now we can check how this can be implemented. So for creating a workflow, you want to go to the setup area. In the setup area, select the create. In those you can see the workflows and approvals. Expanding that, here we can see options for workflow rule, approval process, flows, tasks, etc. and email alerts, everything is there. Then first of all we want to create the workflow rule. So I'm taking workflow rule. In this workflow rule you can see several workflow rules I have created before. So next step is I want to create a new rule. So take new rule. So every workflow rule is depends on any of the object. So the workflow is actually performing when this object is created or edited. That means the any of the records creating related to the object. So here we want to send an email alert for every newly opened position. So the object should be selected, should be position. Okay, selecting the object position, and we can go to the step 2, configuring the workflow rule. So here you can do a couple of things. First you can give your rule name. So here I can give new open position rule. So new open position rule, and this is the name of the rule. Then if you want to give some description you can do that. For now I'm not giving that. Then next one is the evaluation criteria. In the evaluation criteria you can see 3 radio buttons. Then evaluate the rule when a record is created and every time it is edited, created and any time it is edited or subsequently meets criteria. So we can give the default thing. So our workflow rule will be evaluated if a record related to object is created or edited. Then here the rule criteria we can give. In the rule criteria we have 2 options. If we want to give a criteria, or if you want to give a formula. So here if we are giving a criteria, then if the criteria is met, the workflow actions will be performed. If you are giving a formula here, then if the formula is results are true, then the corresponding workflow action will be executed. So I can give for now a criteria. So what should be my criteria? For I want to send an email alert for every newly open position. That means the position, for any position, if we are changing the status to open, then I want to send the email alert. So I can select the field as position status. So these fields is nothing but the fields we are created in the object position. So in the position status equals, so there is a lookup, and in the lookup we can select which all statuses are possible for the position status field. So if I want to send the email alert for every new open position, so I am giving the criteria as position status equals open approved. So the workflow will execute for a position status equals open. For every open position, an alert should be sent to recruiter. So I can save this. Then the step 3, specify the workflow action. So what should be performed? We want to send an email alert. So that email alert we can define that here. There is 2 options: immediate workflow actions and time dependent workflow actions. If you want to send an email alert immediately after the criteria is satisfied, you can give that here. And if you want to do the same after 1 day or after 1 week, according to the situation, then you can select or continue this process, the time dependent workflow actions. So for now I am using that immediate workflow action. Then I can select what type of action I can perform. As I said before, I can give a new email alert or new field upload, outbound message, new task, then anything I can give. For now I am giving a new email alert. So in the email alert we can give a description, send this mail to recruiter for a very open position. Okay, then a unique name will be automatically populated using replacing the spaces with underscore. Then now I want to specify one email template. So I have already created some email templates for doing this. I will show you how to create an email alert in the later session. Email template, how can we create that? So here is a template, new position alert. So this is means the template for sending an email for every new position. So I'm selecting that. So if it is a protected component, okay, we can give that it's a protected component. Then we can set the recipients. For now I am giving role because I want to send to all recruiters. So if any person having the role or recruiter in our organization, then automatically the mail will be sent to his email ID that given in his profile. So everything is over. Okay, I can save my task, that the email alert. So we can see the task that should be performed in that in our workflow. Then if you want to do some more task, you can add workflow actions here. Okay, for now I am not doing any other kind of actions, and I am pressing done. Okay, then my workflow is completed, and the name of my workflow is new position, new open position rule. It's displayed here. All the things coming under the workflow we can see from here. Okay, then for now I am showing that how we can create an email template. So here in the setup area you can see communication templates. So in the communication templates, email templates, you can select. In email templates you can see a lot of templates in the workflow that we are created. Now we are select this new position alert, so we can see what coming under this. The new position alert email template contains this much of things. First we can specify the folder for the email template, then email template name, then a unique name for identifying, then encoding, so in which language we are sending that email, then author, that's me, and description that we have given, then This the next things are very important: the body and the subject. So the subject I have given here, new position alert. So if a mail received using this email template, the subject will be new position alert. That we can specify here. It's very user friendly. Just give the subject, and in the body I am giving like this: there is a new position open. So which is that position? That position is title is given like this. One thing is important, that if you want to give some fields from that object, you want to give it in a curly brackets, and an exclamatory mark should be before that. And one thing is important, that position object is denote last position __ c. Why? Because it is a custom object. And name, position name is given, then functional area is given, location. So these all things I want to display for every mail. So I have done this for making this conversation very beautiful. I have given one more instruction in the email template. If you know anyone great who might be able to fill this role, please contact the hiring manager. So a beautiful instruction I have given, and for making it more formal, I have given thanks. Okay, this is my email template body. So the advantage of Salesforce is creating an email template is very easy, and it will be very readable for the user. Okay, so now we want to check our workflow is working or not. So I can create a new position, or I can use a position from the list. Okay, I want to create a new position. In the new position, I can give the position title as manager of sales, and I can change the status to open approved, because our workflow will only work if the status is open approved. And I can give the open date is today. Good. Then no other fields are mandatory. So for now I am not giving any of the fields, but I can give the functional area. It is miscellaneous. Okay, fine, good. That much only. I can save my position. So now what I've done is I have created a new position with the status as open approved. So in this time I want to get an email on my Gmail account. So let me check that. So here I am refreshing my account. So there's a mail, new position, new open position alert. That's the template we have done. So in that mail you can see there is a new position open. So the title you can see as manager sales. That now we are created that post, and functional area is miscellaneous. Rest of the things we are not specified. So this is the working of our workflow. Okay, so what the advantage of workflow is, it's very simple to create. If you are using any other development environment, it is very difficult to do the code, and if you want to implement some flexibility, it's very hard process. But using Salesforce, it's very simple, and no code is used, so that anyone can create their own workflows. Okay, now we can go to approval process. I'm going back to my presentation here. Okay, approval process. So it's very common in any organization that if the subordinates make any change in the records, that should be approved by their bosses or their superior officers. There may be multiple approvers. mm, in our recruitment app, consider a situation like a new position. Say a new position is created with payment of more than 1,50,000. So according to the company rule, it may be approved by some of the superior officers. Say this the manager of the person who are creating that position should be approved that, and also the CEO of the company should approve that. It is very, because it is very costly thing that giving that much of salary. Okay, this can be implemented using the approval process that given by Salesforce. So in all business applications, all sales applications, it's need a lot of approval processes. So that they are actually giving the this kind of a facility. So we can go to how what are things under the approval process and how an approval process is created. Okay, so I have listed some of the key features here. First one is multiple approvers can be there. So in the approval processes that provided by Salesforce, they are providing facility for fixing a lot of approvers that approver maybe a group of approvers, or maybe it's a single person, maybe it's a hierarchical method following. That means two persons should be approved at the hierarchical order. Everything we can implement it using the approval process facility given by Salesforce. Then next one is it's very user friendly, and the approvers can approve the process or reject the process or recall the process using only a button click. So that is very friendly. Then a difficult thing while implementing the approval process is if we are submit a record for approval, then in between the approval process there should be some changes for the record. So this will affect our entire approval process. So if you want to submit a record for approval, if you want to prevent any other further changes before the approval, and you can fix that record that cannot be changed. So that means that is given by a standardized way. We can lock records. Then in which all methods you can perform the approval process. An approver can approve a record or reject a record by using his email or the channel facility provided by Salesforce, or in the Salesforce app he can use his home tab, also any mobile devices that correctly configured can be used for this. So the Salesforce is providing such kind of a beautiful facility for us. And if you are outstation, you can approve one thing from outside, and that much of flexibility they are giving. And we can go to the next slide. So what are things we want to do for create an approval process? Here first, similar to the workflow, we want to specify one object. That's very important. So for one object, the code you want to submit for approval, that should be selected first. Then there is an entry criteria, which all conditions should be satisfied for submitting the approval, submitting for the approval. then create the approval steps. So you can do an approval process with more than one step, maybe two approvers may be there, and after one approver is approving, then another approver can be come into the session. This can be using creating approval steps. We can create a lot of approval steps, and then initial submit task. So if you are submitting a record for approval, then you can if you want to perform some task immediately before the approval, then you can do initial submit task. So it may be usually recording the logging the record or something. Then after that, final approval task. So here you want to specify which all things you have to perform after the approval. So last one is final rejection task. So your approver is rejecting the record, and you want to perform some task there, then that is coming under the final rejection task. So an employee creating a position with payment more than 1,50,000, he is submitting that record for approval, and immediately some actions should be performed that coming under this. So immediately after submitting the record, some task will be performed. Usually this may be a record lock, and after that it come to the approval of manager, that the manager of this employee, if he can approve or reject. If he is approving, then it will go to the next step, and if he is rejecting, it will go to the final rejection action. So if this particular record is approved by him, and it will go to the next step of approval. So CEO can approve or reject. If CEO is rejecting the record, it will perform the final rejection action, and if CEO is approving that record, it will go to the final approval actions. So this is a basic flow diagram of a two-step approval process. Okay, now we want to create one approval process, and we want to know in what all things we have do in this approval process. And I can go to my application now. So I'm still the recruitment app here, and I can create my approval process from the setup area. I can create workflows and approval processes. So in this approval process, workflow itself, I can select one object. So here I want to submit a new position with more than 1,50,000 payment to the manager and to the CEO. So I can select the position here, then create approval process. We can use two wizards for this. Not feel panic while both wizards are good. One is the jumpstart wizard, and one is standard setup wizard. In the jumpstart wizard, it is a very fast process for creating the approval process, and standard setup wizard is a very long process for creating the approval process. We can do now standard approval process. So here you can give some process name as position approval. For minimum pay greater than 1,50,000. Okay, 1,50,000. Okay, good. Then if you want to give some description, you can give here. For now I am not giving any description. And second step is specify entry criteria. Similar to workflow, you can give one criteria, or you can give uh, some formulas here. So for now, if the CEO who is creating a new position, we don't want to submit it for approval, so I can give uh, the current user role not equal to CEO. So this is a very basic criteria I am going to give here. Okay, fine. So specify approval field and record editability properties we can give here. So select fixed use of automated approval routing. Then who is going to the very next approval? I want to manager there for approving that process first. Then record editability properties. The administrators only edit records during approval process. So that's very nice. Administrator only is going to edit before approval. So if for every approval there is notification is there, I have already created one notification template as I explained in the previous section. It is the position requires approval. So it's a very flexible method. I can get some alerts there. Then the step 5, select fields to display on approval page layout. Which all fields should be displayed at that time of the approval. So position title is already there, owner is there. If any other fields I can give the functional area and minimum pay, and also job level. So an approver can easily take a decision if he can know the minimum payment and the job level and the functional area. So he can evaluate the record for approving. So approval page fields display approval history information. If you want to display the history at the time of approval, then if CEO get that approval request, and he can see the his approvers before him that already approved. Then okay, then next one is specify initial submitters. So initial submitters, who can submit that record for approval. So I am giving creator who create the record, he can submit it itself, or even if you want to some other persons to submit, you can do that. So I am giving the creator can submit for approval. Okay, then position owner and record creator can submit. Okay, fine. Then now they will ask a question that is you want to create approval step now. Then if you want to create the approval step now, you can. Yes, I had like to create an approval step now. So approval step 1, first one is manager approval. Manager approval. Okay, then specify step criteria. Then I want to give a criteria here, or I can give one formula, because I want to submit for approval if the uh, minimum payment is greater than 1,50,000. So I can insert a field here, position minimum pay. Okay, minimum pay. Then I can give an operator, a lot of operators. I can give greater minimum pay greater than 1,50,000. So if minimum pay is greater than 1,50,000, then the record will be submitted for the approval process. Then I can select the immediate approver. Okay, automatically, as I'm using user field selected earlier, so I can give the manager here first. So okay, fine, I can save my process now. Then what do you want to like to do now? I have to create new approval action for this step. So if you can create one task, or I can review my things that created. Yeah, now I am going to review my all pages. Here the approval step is here, so I want a multiple step for this, and I can create the next step. So the step number 2, it is the CEO approval. CEO approval, you can click next. So all records should be under this step. There is no other filters we can use. Automatically approver I can select. Automatically assign to approvers. I can select one user who is the CEO. Okay, he is the CEO actually. So is there any delegate for approval? Delegate means if this current CEO is not there, is anyone other than him can approve it. For now I am not giving anything like that, so I can save this. So I have created one more step, and I am again reviewing my page. Now I can create initial submit actions. Already there is one action called record log, and if I want to give one more action, I can give here add new. I can give a field update, because if I am submitting for approval, then the status should be submitted for approval or pending. So I'm giving one name, status to pending. Okay, the field name is status a specific value pending approval. So if I am submitting that negotiation for approval, then automatically that status will become pending. So I can save this. So you can see that one more initial submit action here. Then if the approval is rejected, or if the approval is uh, the record is approved, then what should be performed, that also I can give here. In the final approval action, I can give what all things, how to done after approval. I can add one field update, status to approved, status to approved. Okay, I can select the status to a specific value, open approved. So automatically, if that approval is completed, final approval is completed, then the status will become open approved. Okay, that's very good. Then I can add a rejection step. If that record is rejected, then the status should be rejected or closed. Okay, the position status should be a specific value, that is closed, not approved. Good. So if that final rejection is happens, then the status will become closed. So this is the entire process for giving or creating an approval. So in this approval, we have created the initial criteria, then we have selected the different approvers. So after that, we have created the steps, then initial submit actions, then final approval action, and final rejection action. So by this some mouse clicks, we can create an entire approval process. So if you want to code for this, then it will be a very long process, and we want to code a lot of things, and we want to consider a lot of errors. We want to consider a lot of tests that should be there. But in this, it is very easy way to create that approval process, and with a very simple effort, we can make it practical. And we have to go to that presentation now. So if any questions, you can ask. So basically, the workflows and approvals, if I don't know how much of you are already created one approval process or one workflow. Actually, the very beautiful things that inside the Salesforce is nothing but the workflows and approvals, because this make the Salesforce very powerful and very user friendly. And if you want some customization in any of your workflow, that also you can do. And if you want a very complex business logic, you have to prefer the Visual Force pages, and you want to create an Apex class for that. So in very common business applications, you can use the workflows and approvals. Okay, thank you very much.